हेलो माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, कैसे हैं आप लोग। उम्मीद करती हूँ आप सब अच्छे होंगे। चैप्टर नंबर 60 फ्रॉम द बुक थीफ रिटन बाय मार्कस ज़्यूज़ैक। इसका कवर पेज ऐसा है। द बुक थीफ रिटन बाय मार्कस ज़्यूज़ैक। द प्रॉमिस कीपर्स वाइफ। The Promise Keeper's Wife, The Basement, 9 a.m. 6 hours till goodbye. I play an accordion, Liesel, someone else. He closed his eyes. It brought the house down. Not counting the glass of champagne the previous summer, Hans Huberman had not consumed a drop of alcohol for a decade. Then came the night before he left for training. He made his way to the Noller with Alexistina in the afternoon and stayed well into the evening, ignoring the warnings of their wives. Both men drank themselves into oblivion. It didn't help that the Noller's owner, Dieter Westimer, gave them free drinks. Apparently, while he was still sober, Hans was invited to the stage to play the accordion. Appropriately, he played the apparently infamous Gloomy Sunday, the anthem of suicide from Hungary, and although he aroused all the sadness for which the song was renowned. He brought the house down, leisurely imagined the scene of it and the sound. Mouths were full, empty beer glasses were streaked with foam. The bellows signed and the song was over. People clapped. Their beer-filled mouths cheered him back to the bar. When they managed to find their way home, Hans couldn't get his keys to fit the door, so he knocked repeatedly. Rosa. It was the wrong door. Hans Hofzeffel was not thrilled. Steven, you are at the wrong house. You rammed the words through the keyhole. Next door, you stupid sockle. Thanks, Frau Hofzeffel. You know what you can do with your thanks. You arsehole. Excuse me, just to go home. Thanks for forehead Zephyr. Didn't I just tell you what you can do with your thanks? Did you? It's amazing what you can piece together from a basement conversation and a reading session in a nasty old woman's kitchen. Just get lost, will you? When at long last he came home, Papa made his way not to bed, but to Liegel's room. He stood drunkenly in the doorway and watched her sleep. She awoke and thought immediately that if it was Max, it is you? She asked. No, he said. He knew exactly what she was thinking. It's Papa. He backed out of the room and she heard his footsteps making their way down to the basement. In the living room, Rosa was snoring with enthusiasm. Close to 9 o'clock the next morning in the kitchen, Liesel was given an order by Rosa. Hand me that bucket there. She filled it with cold water and walked with it down to the basement. Liesel followed in a vain attempt to stop her. Mama, you can't. Can't I? She faced her briefly on the steps. Did I miss something, Somench? Do you give the orders around here now? Both of them were completely still. No answer from the girl. I thought not. They continued on and found him on his back amongst a bed of dust sheets. He felt he didn't deserve Mac's mattresses. Now let's see. Rosa lifted the bucket. If he is alive. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. The watermark was oval shaped from halfway up his chest to his head. His hair was plastered to one side and even his eyelashes dripped. What was that for? You old drunk? You old drunk? Jesus. Steam was rising weirdly from his clothes. His hangover was visible. He heaved itself to his shoulders and sat there like a bag of wet cement. Rosa swept the bucket from left hand to right. It's a lucky going you are going to the war, she said. She held her finger in the air. and wasn't afraid to wave it. Otherwise, I did kill you myself. You know that, you don't you? Papa wiped a stream of water from his throat. Did you have to do that? Yes, I did. She started up the steps. If you are not up there in 5 minutes, you get another bucket full. Left in the basement with Papa, Liesel busied herself by mopping up the excess water with some dust sheets. Papa spoke. With his wet hand, he made the girl stop. He held her forearm. Liesel, his face clung to her. Do you think he is alive? Liesel said. She crossed her legs. The wet dust sheet soaked onto her knee. I hope to, Papa. It felt like such a stupid thing to say, so obvious, but there seemed little alternative to say at least something of value and to distract them from thoughts of Max, and made herself crouch and placed a finger in a small pool of water on the floor. Guten Morgen, Papa. In response, Hans began at her, but it was not the usual wink. It was heavier, clumsier, the post Max version, the hangover version. He sat up and told her about the accordion of the previous night and Frau Hotzefeld, the kitchen, 1 p.m. 2 hours still good. Goodbye. Don't go, Papa, please. Her spoon holding hand is shaking. First, we lost Max. I can't lose you, too. In response, the hungover man digs his elbow into the table and covers his right eye. You are half a woman now, Liesel. He wants to break down, but wards it off. He rides through it. Look after Mama, will you? The girl can make only a half a nod to agree. Yes, Papa. He left Himmel Street wearing his hangover and a suit. Alex Steiner was not leaving for another 4 days. He came over an hour before they left for the station and wished Hans all the best. The whole Steiner family had come. They all shook his hand. Barbara embraced him, kissing both cheeks. Come back alive. Yes, Barbara, and the way he had said it was full of confidence. Of course, I will. He even managed to laugh. It's just a war. You know, I have survived one before. When they walked up Hummel Street, the wiry woman from next door came out and stood on the pavement. Goodbye, Frau Hotzefeld. My apologies for last night. Goodbye, Hans, you drunken soccer. But she offered him a note of friendship too. Come home soon. Yes, Frau Hotzefeld, thank you. She even played along a little. You know what you can do with your thanks? At the corner, Frau Diller watched defensively from her shop window and Liesel took Papa's hand. She held it all the way along Munich Street, so the Bahnhof. The train was already there. They stood on the platform. Rosa embraced him first. No words. No words. Her head was buried tightly into his chest, then gone. Then the girl. Papa, nothing. Don't go, Papa, just don't go. Let them come for you if you stay. You don't, but don't go. Please don't go, Papa. The train station, 3 p.m. No hours, no minutes, still goodbye. He holds her to say something, to say anything. He speaks over her shoulder. Could you look after my guardian? Leisure, I decided not to take it. Now he finds something he truly means, and if there are more raids, keep reading in the shelter. The girl feels the continued sign of a slightly growing chest. It hurts as it touches the bottom of his ribs. Yes, Papa, a millimeter from her eyes, she stares at the fabric of his suit. She speaks into him. Will you play us something when you come home? Hans Hummerbein smiled at his daughter then, and the train was ready to leave. He reached out and gently held her face into his hand. I promise, he said, and he made his way into the carriage. They watched each other as the train pulled away. Liesel and Rosa waved. Hans Huberman grew smaller and smaller, and his hand held nothing now but empty air. On the platform, people disappeared around them until no one else was left. There was only the wardrobe shaved woman and the 13-year-old girl. For the next few weeks, while Hans Huberman and Alex Steiner was at their various fast-tracked training camps, Himmel Street was swollen. Rudy was not the same. He didn't talk. Mama was not the same. She didn't berate. Liesel too was feeling the effects. There was no desire to steal a book, no matter how much she tried to convince herself that it would cheer her up. After 11 days of Alex Steiner's absence, Rudy decided he had had enough. He hurried through the gate and knocked on Liesel's door. Kommst ja. She didn't care where he was going or what he was planning, but he would not be going without her. They walked up Himmel along Munich Street and out of Molching together. It was after approximately an hour later. Our that Liesel asked the vital question. Up till then, she did only glanced over at Rudy's determined face or examined his stiff arms and the fisted hands in the pockets. Where are we going? Isn't it obvious? She struggled to keep up. Well, to tell you the truth, not really. I am going to find him, your papa. Yes, he thought about it. Actually, no. I think I will be fine. I will find the Fahra inside. Faster footsteps. Why? Rudy stopped because I want to kill him. He was turned on the spot to the rest of the world. Did you hear that? You bastards! He shouted, I want to kill the Führer. They resumed walking and made it another few miles or so. That was when Liesel felt the urge to turn around. It will be dark soon, Rudy. He walked on. So what? I am going back. Rudy stopped and watched her now as if she were betraying him. That's right. Book thief, leave me now. I bet if there was a loosey book at the end of this road, you did keep walking, wouldn't you? For a while, neither of them spoke, but Liesel soon found the will. You think you are the only one, Sokol? She turned away, and you only lost your father. What does that mean? Liesel took a moment to count. Her mother, her brother, Max Vanderburg, Hans Huberman, all of them gone, and she did never even had a real father. It means she said, I am going home. For 15 minutes she walked alone, and even when Rudy arrived at her side with joking breath and sweaty cheeks, not another word was said for more than an hour. They only walked home together with aching feet and tired hearts. There was a chapter called Tired Hearts in A Song in the Dark. In A Song in the Dark, a romantic girl had promised herself to a young man, but it appeared that he had ran away with her best friend. Liesel was sure it was chapter 11. My heart is so tired, the girl had said. She was sitting in a chapel, writing in her diary. No, thought Liesel as she walked. It's my heart that is tired. A 13-year-old heart shouldn't feel like this. When they reached the perimeter of Moching, Liesel threw some words across. She would see Hubert Oval. Remember? When we raised there, Rudy, of course, I was just thinking about that myself, how we both fell. You said you were covered in shit. It was only mud. He couldn't hold his amusement now. I was covered in shit at Hitler Youth. You are getting mixed up, Somej. I am not mixed up at all. I am only telling what you said. What someone says and what happened are usually two different things, Rudy, especially when it comes to you. This was better. When they walked down Munich Street again, Rudy looked into the window of his father's shop before Alex left. He and Barbara had discussed whether she should keep it running in his absence. They decided against it, considering that work had been slow lately anyway, and there was at least a partial threat of party members making their presence felt. Business was never good for agitators. The army paid would have to do. Suits hung from the rails of the mannequins held their ridiculous poses. I think that one likes you, Leisure said after a while. It was her way of telling him it was the time to keep going. On Himmel Street, Rosa Huberman and Barbara Steiner stood together on the footpath. Oh, oh, Maria, Liesel said, do you look worried? They look angry. Sorry for the break. Oh, Maria, Liesel said, do they look worried? They look angry. There were many questions when they arrived, mainly of the just they were in the hell. Have you two been? Have you two been? Nature, but the anger quickly gave way to relief. It was Barbara. It was Barbara who pursued the answers. Well, Rudy, Liesel answered for him. He was killing the Fahra, she said, and Rudy looked genuinely happy for a long enough moment. So, to please her, by leisure, several hours later, there was a noise in the living room. It stretched towards Liesel in bed. She awoke and remained still, thinking Ghost and Papa and intruders and Max. There was the sound of opening and dragging, and then the fuzzy silence who followed. The silence was always the greatest temptation. Don't move, she thought many times, but she didn't think it enough. Her feet scalded the floor, air breathed up her pyjama sleeves. She walked through the corridor darkness in the direction of silence that had once been noisy. Towards the thread of moonlight hanging in the living room, she stopped, feeling the bareness of her ankles and toes. She watched. It took longer than she expected for her eyes to adjust, and when they did, there was no denying the fact that Rosa Huberman was sitting on the edge of the bed with her husband's accordion tied to her chest. Her fingers hovered above the keys. She did not move. She didn't even appear to the breathing. The sight of the propelled itself of the girl in the hallway, a painted image, Rosa with accordion, moonlight on dark, 5.11 inch into instrument into silence. Liesel stayed and watched. Many minutes dipped past. The book thief's desire to hear a note was exhausting, and still it would not come. The keys were not stuck. The bellows didn't breathe. There was only the moonlight like a long strand of hair in the curtain, and there was Rosa. The accordion remained strapped on her chest to her chest. When she bowed her head, it sank to her lap. Liesel watched. She knew that for the next few days, Mama would be waiting around with the imprint of an accordion on her body. There was also an acknowledgement that there was great beauty in what she was currently witnessing, and she chose not to disturb it. She returned to bed and fell asleep to the vision of Mama and the silent music. Later, when she woke up from her usual dream and crept again to the hallway, Rosa was still there, as was the accordion. Like an anchor, it pulled her forward. Her body was sinking. She appeared dead. She can't possibly be breathing in that position, Liesel thought, but when she made her way closer, she could hear it. Mama was snoring again. Who needs bellows? She thought. When you've got a pair of lungs like that. Eventually, when Liesel returned to bed, the image of Rosa Huberman and the accordion would not leave her. The book thief's eyes remained open. She waited for the suffocation of sleep. यहाँ पे होता है हमारा चैप्टर नंबर 60 ख़त्म. मिलेंगे हम नेक्स्ट चैप्टर में विद चैप्टर नंबर 61, द कलेक्टर, फ्रॉम द बुक थीफ, रिटन बाय मार्कस ज़्यूज़ैक. बाय फॉर नाउ फ्रेंड्स. मेरे चैनल को लाइक शेयर और सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर से कीजिएगा, और मुझे कमेंट्स में आप ज़रूर से बताइए मुझे क्या क्या चेंजेस करने चाहिए रीडिंग में या फिर लिखने रखने में बुक. ओके, जो भी है आप मुझे कमेंट्स में ज़रूर सजेस्ट करिए. थैंक यू. बाय फॉर नाउ माय फ्रेंड्स. बाय.